What is up, PFL Nation? It's your boy John Smith back in the booth for this Wednesday night classic. As you guys know, this week we're doing a little bit of a pregame show for games. Started it out Monday night. Hope you all been liking it so far, but basically just want to highlight some of the key plays, the key players. Obviously, we're going to be looking forward to in this game between number 9 at UCLA and the brand new number 16 team in the nation, Florida Gators. You can see that main man right there on the graphic right now, and I got to tell you, that's a main highlight for me. You know, this Florida roster is very young overall. Between their brand new freshman QB, we're going to get our first look at him in a regular season game, Corey Baines. Of course, they've got A.J. Williams over from LSU, the sophomore wide receiver 1 for them. And the big pickup, Mr. Bosco James, leaving Fresno State, finding his way over to the Gators, should be a massive impact for Florida. Very much looking forward to that. And then, of course, they still have Armani Brooks coming in, another freshman at wide receiver. Eric Reyes, junior wide receiver, got himself a lot to prove. And then, on the defensive side, they've got Derek Marshall, of course, at corner, Markel Jackson at middle linebacker, and Jackson Davis as strong safety. And, of course, they have the special teams, because if you guys know the head coach of Florida, like I do, and just like I think with OSU, having that prime guy kicker is super critical. So we got Aiden Tucker over there for Florida. That's the key guys on their side. Over on the other side of the ball for Coach Canyon, of course, they've got Casey Robinson, the huge pickup at quarterback for them. That's going to be a massive change from Matt McCain the year before. They have some killers at wide receiver between JoJo Ekene, Kadar Young, and JT3, Jamie Tyler III. As well, of course, in the backfield is Gio Gaddy, who's an absolute freak, and Sergio Moreno at tight end. Meanwhile, on the defensive side, they got Tony Fields Jr. at corner, Josiah Bess at corner, Kai Chancellor, strong safety, Cartier Sidney at middle linebacker, Mr. Kobe Drake at defensive end, who I know is going to be trying to make that new freshman QB, Corey Baines' life a nightmare, and Ty Robinson, who's going to be joining in on that, trying to slow down the run game of Mr. Bosco James. So I just want to highlight the key matchups that I see coming out of this game. Have to be Bosco James against that UCLA run defense, seeing how he performs here in his first big game with the Florida Gators, their first game in CS3 that's not a preseason or a scrim. Seeing how Coach Branson adjusts, of course, and Coach Canyon, how he has himself a backup year. He needs to have a big bounce back because of the fact that you guys know 2 rough years means you're on the hot seat. And for Coach Canyon, after last season with UCLA going 3-9, it's going to be a big deal. He comes out here and tries to win. And, of course, Florida being the 16th ranked team, they're going to try to come out and upset UCLA here tonight. So I am very much looking forward to this one. We are at Florida's home stadium. So that's going to be super important for them to have that motivation, that added help of being the home field team. So, man, I just can't wait to get into this one. But, yeah, I say the key matchup is Bosco James against this UCLA run defense. And overall, I think that's going to be the most exciting thing to watch, is just seeing how that comes out and performs, and how these UCLA guys with a chip on their shoulder, all those guys, how they come out and perform as well. Obviously, for UCLA, I think the key player is going to be Casey Robinson. We know Ole Miss season did not go how they wanted, even with all the stars that they had. Casey is a superstar quarterback, and I expect him to come out here and try to prove that to everybody tonight. So, with that, like I said, happy Wednesday, folks. Thanks for tuning in with us here. And, I don't have much else to say other than let's get into it. So let me go ahead and hop into the match here. You guys can see that now. And let's go. So we got the first quarter kicking off. And we're going to get our first look at the Florida Gators, man. This is going to be exciting for sure. And there you go. You got Corey Baines right there. It's time to see how the young freshman does. Now he's got that new weapon in Bosco James behind him. We know, like we talked about in the pregame show, A.J. Williams over from LSU, Eric Reyes as well. He's got weapons around him, but A lot of pressure on this kid to come out their first game. 16 seed in the nation. See what they can pull off. We see that first handoff to Bosco. Getting himself 6 yards, setting up 2nd and 4. You know, like I said, that's what I expect to see the most of tonight. Whole lot of Bosco James. And we see that time stuffed immediately in the backfield for a loss of 3. Kobe Drake getting in there with the big stop. Setting up 3rd and much longer for this Florida offense. You know, this is probably going to be our first look at Corey Baines on a passing down. Going to be a big deal to see what they can come up with here so they don't get a quick 3 and out against this UCLA defense. Let's see, we got empty backfield. It's like 2 to the top, 3 to the bottom. See where he's looking. He does go for the, the spin route just leads him on a little bit too far. I feel like he definitely had the space if he would have been able to make that grab and cut forward. Unable to do so, and Florida is forced to punt here on their first drive. You see that get out. We're going to see UCLA, our first look at this offense, led out by superstar Casey Robinson. And, you know, we talk about weapons. We talked about it in the pregame show, but I know Casey's not only going to be looking to pass that ball around, but, of course, going to be on the hunt with Gio Gaddy, making sure, you know, again, just like Florida, having that strong workhorse in the backfield is going to be huge. But he's starting off with a big play here. Empty backfield for the superstar. 3 to the bottom, 2 to the top. Finds his man over the middle. I believe that is Gio out of the slot there. Yes, it is. Getting him a 10-yard gain and immediately getting a new set of downs here for UCLA. We see Gaddy's first handoff not really going anywhere. Not a lot of room to run there. And now we got 9.5 on the clock here. First quarter flying by, folks. 2nd and 8 for UCLA. Has him underneath again. Decides to go to the wideout that time. I believe... Who is that on it? JT3? Yes, that was JT3 on the catch. 7-yard gain, set up 3rd and short. And we do see a jump. That is going to be unfortunate. That's going to bring him back and negate the 5-yard gain on the JT3 catch. Setting up 3rd and 7, almost mirroring what happened on the Florida drive. As a loss of yards on, you know, 3rd down due to the penalty. Making this one a bit tougher, but they do manage to get it out to Sergio Moreno, who I believe is going to cross that chain marker. Yes, he is. New set of downs here for UCLA. And Florida's defense, they got to watch out for that pass attack. It's going to be critical for them. Those prime guys, those leaders, to come up and make sure that they can help out this defense and get stops where they need it. As Moreno is dragged out of bounds, but does manage to get across that chain. Set them up here for 1st and 10 in the I form. We're going to see a handoff to Gaddy. Has a lot of space. Gets past the man. Ends up getting about 9.5. Setting up 2nd and 1. Barely a full yard there. As you see, bunches to the bottom. Another handoff to Gaddy. Just has to make his way a little forward. Manages to do so with ease. Setting up 1st and 10 for UCLA here. 7:44 to go in the first quarter, folks. And UCLA, 9th ranked in the nation. Coach Canyon's loving it, marching down the field. Doing what they need to do. I mean, this is what they came out to do, and right now they are definitely performing. This is what we love to see for sure here in the PFL. CKC, empty backfield, taking the high pressure coming. Defense trying to get there. Ends up just throwing it away. That pressure on his face probably scared him a little bit. Hearing the footsteps. But we have another empty backfield play. KC calling an audible at the line. Quick drag route underneath. There it is. Easy 1st down. I believe that's JoJo Ekene on the catch. Yes, it is. Again, folks, like we always talk about, ignore the stats you see on the screen. Those are just mod stats. We won't be manually tracking all the stats throughout the season. So if you want to keep up with that, make sure you're following along in the Discord as the stats get updated. KC going underneath again. Those two guys almost run into each other. Managed to avoid a head-on collision between Ekene and Kadar Young. But Kadar does come down with the ball and now setting up 2nd and 4. Has Gaddy underneath. I don't know if he sees him. Casey rolling out, tries to get away, unable to do so, and Boggle with the huge sack, setting up 3rd and 15 for UCLA. That is a massive setback. And Coach Canyon is not happy with that one. I don't know if it was a coverage sack where no one managed to get open in time. It looked like he had Gaddy underneath, but maybe he didn't like the way that was looking, with the cornerback kind of hesitating there. It looks like he tried to get it out to Kadar Young there on the left-hand side, but just before he could release the ball, managed to get brought down. And Gaddy's out there looking gassed already, staying back to block. Gets a decent block. Moreno underneath, wide open, but Florida just playing the line, do so intelligently, and force UCLA to settle for a field goal. 4th and 7. Bend don't break defensive mentality for Florida. Blades on the tackle, doing what they need to do, and giving their offense another chance to come out here and, you know, obviously perform a bit better than they did on that first drive. See the field goal for UCLA. It is up, and it is good. UCLA is going to take the 3-0 lead here early in the first quarter. Just like that, we have our first points of UCLA's CS3 season. And let's see how Florida comes out in response to this one. I believe that's Bosco on the kick returns. Yes, it is. Getting out here, doing what he needs to do. Going to try to be a difference maker for this Florida squad. You know, I interviewed him a little bit before this game, and he was telling me, you know, he really picked Florida because he wanted to come out here and be a difference maker for the team. And they're going to need that level of leadership, especially with a young quarterback here at the helm. We see the handoff to Bosco. Not a lot of room to work there. You know, I brought up the key matchup at the start, but UCLA's run defense so far holding strong. You can get a play-action bootleg here on the rollout. Tons of time. Pressure finally coming. Gets hit as he throws and does sail it. It did look like he had the curl route open, but not able to get it done. Now we got empty backfield. 3rd and 7 going deep. Almost throws an interception. Risky pass there. Setting up 4th and 7, and Florida has no choice but to punt it away. Let's see, on the kick return, getting it back up to the 25-yard line, and just like that, UCLA's offense is back on the field with 4:10 to go. And a shot to extend this lead is Casey Robinson, Jojo Ekene, Gio Gaddy, Kadar Young, Sergio Moreno. All these boys coming out here are going to be trying to be big difference makers. JT3, of course. See the handoff here. Gio, not a lot of room to run. The run defense, honestly, for both teams has been really solid here in the first quarter. You see that down there, only 19 yards for UCLA and only 7 for Florida. Goes for the pass, but great pass deflection, shutting that down. Setting up 3rd and long, and we are seeing a defensive battle to start this one, folks. 3.5 to go in the first quarter. Goes for the deep ball and almost throws a pick right into the hands of the Florida safety, just waiting to snatch that one. That might have actually been Derek Marshall. I couldn't tell if that was a 13 or a 15 on the pass deflection, as you see Bosco take the punt return there. But man, Casey with some risky throws out of that young superstar, so he's going to need to channel his energy a little bit different here as this game continues on, as Florida's defense stepping up, continuing to put their offense in a position to succeed. We see the play action, and there it is. The same problem we saw as Sellers gets the sack. Same problem we saw in the preseason. Those play action plays are risky for these young guys. When the O-line cannot manage to hold up, you know, we have a lot of really fast middle linebacker, outside linebacker style in this league. And they love getting after the quarterback, and you see it there as he puts the young freshman in a body bag. Corey Baines, welcome to the PFL. Young blood setting up 2nd and 19 here for Florida. Pump fakes it, goes over the middle, manages to hang on. What a catch. Corey Baines finally delivers a laser to Eric Reyes. That's the junior coming up and holding on to the ball. Solo with the tackle, setting up 3rd and 1, going over the middle now. Maybe getting into a little bit of a groove. A little bit of a groove here. I believe that was Reyes again, as Florida now, as Solo with his 2nd tackle, but Florida maybe getting a little bit of spark. Crowd starting to get loud here. My goodness, they got a new set of downs. They're just about midfield. As this first quarter is starting to wind down, under 2 minutes to go here on the 45-yard line. Quick handoff to Bosco, manages to fight his way for about 2 yards there. Looks like they did give him 3, so it's 2nd and 7 here. Gonna see another handoff here. Not a ton of room to run, but manages to barrel his way forward, setting up 3rd and much more manageable 3rd and 2 here with a minute to go in the first quarter. Great job by Bosco continuing to fight for more yardage. On 3rd and 2, they are running that clock, a lot of clock management on the bootleg, rolling out to the open receiver that I believe that's A.J. Williams, breaking off of a guy, fighting his way, knocking on the door of the red zone, and that might have been the last play of the first quarter, folks. A 16-yard reception for A.J. Williams, and that is exactly what Coach Branson and company want to see, as they are getting, hopefully, in the position to put their first points on the board for the brand new to the PFL CS3 Florida Gators squad. See the handoff to Bosco. Not a lot of room to run, and that is going to wind down our first. Let me see the 2s in chat. Let me see those early game predictions too, folks. Let me know who you think is going to take away from this game. Do you think UCLA is going to manage to continue to score and extend this lead? Or do you see number 16 Florida coming in with a big upset to start their CS3 career? Let me know what y'all think. As Bosco says, "Get off me," rips off the tackle. Fights his way forward for 6 yards. That's Robinson who ultimately brought him down. But man, Bosco from the line of scrimmage said, "No shot. Am I getting brought down right here?" And fights his way forward for 6. Setting up 3rd and 4 here for Florida. Big stop for UCLA if they can get it. Play action to Bosco there. Great block as well. Finds his man, delivers and gets it inside the 4-yard line. That additional block, that was Rome on the reception, that additional block by Bosco, setting that up with Cam Chancellor on the tackle. Getting Florida inside the 5. Look at that. Gets Corey just enough time to get that ball out. And Rome manages to make the catch. And now we see the I form here. Probably going to see, oh, no, we do see a pass. Tries to go over the middle, delivers. AJ can't manage to hang on to the ball. Setting up 2nd and goal. Huge hit by the UCLA middle linebacker to force that ball out. See a play action bootleg, pressure in his face again, and it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 15. These play actions have been very rough here for the young quarterback. As he immediately gets crunched. Body bag for Baines yet again. Setting up 3rd and a mile to get into the end zone. Let's see what he can do. He is looking, finds his man over the middle, but nowhere close enough. I believe that's Rome on the reception as well. Setting up 4th and goal, and UCLA does manage to hold them solo with this 2nd tackle. And I fully expect Florida to take the 3 points and tie the game up here. I think if Rome was running up instead of running back towards the ball, he might have had a shot. But from the 6, yeah, it makes more sense to just take the chip shot here and tie the game up. And they are going to go that route. And it is up and good. Tying it up 3-3 is Tucker. The prime player doing what he needs to do. Getting Florida's official first points on the board as a member of the PFL in the regular season. Congrats to them. Super excited to see what you guys do throughout the year, but just want to give a special shout out since that is their first points in PFL history. Of course, outside of, the obvious preseason and scrim games. So, shout out to them boys. Great job. And Gaddy going to try to hand it off. Jukes out of one guy, ends up stumbling, fumbling, bumbling his way forward. It's back to the line of scrimmage, setting up 2nd and 10 for UCLA. KC finds his guy. Fighting is Moreno, making his way forward. I think they're even going to give him the first down. What a way to drag the defender with him across the chains. KC with the quick handoff. Oh, great job by Gaddy fighting for those extra yards. We're seeing a lot of fight out of these running backs. That was Wingo on the tackle. Setting up 2nd and 4. We see another handoff. Oh, it's an option. Fakes the handoff. Room to run for Casey Robinson. Cuts it up. I feel like he had a lot more space to the outside. Decides to cut up forward. Does manage to get the first down, setting up another set of downs for UCLA here. Another running plays. They hand off to Gaddy. Coach Canyon definitely trusting between his quarterback's legs and his running back's legs to get these first downs and keep the drive moving. KC looking, finds his man over the middle on the pass. That's JT3 with the reception. Setting up another first down with 6 minutes and 15 seconds to play here in the half. See the handoff to Gaddy, but that time absolutely crunched at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to go. Actually ends up being a loss of 1. McMillan with the tackle there. Pushing UCLA back just a little bit. As we see a double-manned crunch on Gaddy there between Wingo and McMillan. Setting up what will likely be a pass play. We see bunch to the top, one to the bottom. Have Moreno underneath, but ends up going for the more open man over the middle. I believe that's Kadar Young there. Setting up a new set of downs, and UCLA is going to keep it moving right now. Florida's got to tighten up a little bit defensively as UCLA is really able to do whatever they want on this drive. A very nice extended drive, and Gaddy's got some space. Ends up getting what looks to be about 6. So that running game's starting to open up a little bit more. UCLA keeping the clock down. I think I saw a jump, but it looks like the refs maybe didn't, but it doesn't even matter because Gaddy's going to end up fighting his way for another first down. Getting inside of 4 minutes here as UCLA has had themselves quite a time-controlled drive. You see with the play action, great blocking there from Gaddy. We see the trigger, and there he is delivering a laser to Moreno in the back of the end zone. Gets open. And that is KC's first official touchdown as a UCLA Bruin for CS3 here in week 1 of the regular season. Delivering, getting away from the pressure. Great extra block out of the Gaddy, out of the running back, giving Moreno time to get past his man and get into the end zone. Touchdown Bruins. Trying to come off hot, trying to tell the young team, the new team, listen, it's not going to be easy for y'all. And just like that, they got themselves a 7-point, 10-3 lead. That is big. You see Blasco talking to his guys saying, listen, we got to tighten up a bit here. I didn't come here to lose. I came here to win games. Let's get it done. You see Coach Branson talking, saying, hey, we can't let them have drives like this. UCLA kept the ball a long time. Under 4 minutes to play here in the second quarter. And keep in mind also, UCLA does get the ball at halftime. So it is imperative that Florida comes out here and puts some points on the board right now. As Corey Baines and company getting ready to hopefully come out and make a difference. There's a handoff to Bosco, rolling his way for about 5.5. And listen, 4 minutes is a long time. They can definitely run it a few times, but, you know, that clock's going to move quick on those run plays especially. So they have to be a little careful not to overrun it and then be in rush offense because they're, you know, been running super early on the drive. They are running the clock a little bit, though, which is interesting. Bosco finds a huge gap to the left, fights his way to the 45-yard line, and that is the spark this Florida offense needed, and that's why this man came to the Gators, to be that guy on the field, getting it done, handling his business, doing what he needs to do. Great job out of Bosco, finding the gap on that left-hand side. We're going to see the handoff again to Bosco. Not a lot of room to run that time. UCLA tightening up over the middle. It looks like those outside runs might be where he wants to live, as those seem to be working out a bit better for him. Robinson with the tackle there, only allowing about 3 yards on the carry. 2:18 to play. Baines sends a man into Wham. Looks like it is going to be another handoff. Bosco tries to get to the outside, but trips on his own lineman. Had space, but ultimately nowhere to go. And now we're in a 3rd and decently long situation here for the Gators. 3rd and 8. Running that clock down is to make sure UCLA does not have too much time. Corey trying to get someone to jump, failing to do so. Dropping back to pass, trying to set a screen up. They are going to say that's a fumble, recovered by UCLA. Insane blunder for the freshman. Not able to get the ball out in time, gets hit to knock the ball loose, and Cam Chancellor, right place, right time, absolutely clocked for Corey Baines, setting up Casey Robinson in great position to extend this lead going into halftime, as they are on the 37-yard line with 1.5 minutes to play in the first half. Oh, risky. That's a risky one. If that was a route jump, that might have been a pick sixer all the way to the crib, so he's got to be a bit careful on that. 2nd and 10 now. Goes to reliable Mr. Moreno, getting it done, setting up 3rd and probably 1. Yep. Much, much better throw out of KC. Over 100 yards already at 112 for the half. It's safe to go to the reliable targets. Doing what they need to do. Going deep to the back of the end zone. Almost caught and then almost intercepted by JT3. 4th and 1. I don't know about that long shot that Casey took there. It's going to set up a, you know, a pretty normal size field goal here. UCLA going to try to take a 10-point lead. Not a ton of juice on that kick, but it's not needed, as Levis is going to bring them 13-3. Florida with a huge blunder out of Corey Baines. 1 minute on the clock. Very interested to see what Coach Branson dials up here. Does he try to get points on the board before halftime? Does he simply take the score as it is and just do a few running plays? Let's see what the Florida coach has dialed up. We get a little highlight of Bosco. 11 carries for 43 yards. Doing his thing for sure. Averaging just about 4 yards a carry. Looks like they might be trying to go for it here. Corey Baines finds a man to the outside. Gets it done. I believe that's Reyes again. Definitely been his favorite target today. keeping the offense moving, stopping the clock. That has to be exactly what Florida's looking for as they try to get something on the board, you know, to bring this gap a little bit closer before halftime and the ball going back to UCLA. Let's see what they can dial up here. Corey Baines getting ready. Finds his man over the middle. That's Bosco out of the backfield. Breaks one man. Not able to break the second. Huge tackle out of Cam Chancellor. And then they do end up calling the timeout. Strange that they went into the no huddle before calling the timeout. I feel like that was a mistake as that burned 10 seconds off the clock for no reason. But we're going to see what they dial up here on 2nd and short. Goes to the outside, finds his man, out of bounds as well. New set of downs, 30 seconds on the clock. Brooks with the reception, his first of the game. Right past midfield. They only need 10 to 15 yards to get into field goal range. Goes outside again. Route almost jumped. That's a risky one. That's a risky one. But does manage to get what he needs there. That was Josiah Bess, who almost picked that off for UCLA. Pressure in his face, goes, finds his man, does it again, passing 100 yards. Eric Reyes with the reception, getting the first down and getting out of bounds. Florida trying to knock on the door, get some points on the board. Pressure coming, finds his man to the outside, wide open, but can't get it to him. Corey Baines overthrows it just a little bit, and that could have been a touchdown for the Gators, folks. Massive misthrow, but somehow finds a different target and delivers. Oh my goodness, I'm not sure who had the catch that time, but they are just going to take the field goal. That was Brooks with his second catch. I think with 10 seconds and a timeout, they could have taken a shot to the end zone, but instead, Tucker's just going to go ahead and hit this, making it a 7-point game once again. Going into halftime, that was a very well done drive by the Florida Gators with 6 seconds on the clock. The only play that was close was the Josiah Bess almost interception. That was quite scary for them, but otherwise, really was a solid drive. And just like that, we got 1 second on the clock, folks. We're going to see one final play out of UCLA. Surprised they're not just taking a knee. Let's see what they dial up here. KC's really got nowhere to go and is going to get sacked. Brought down by Jackson. And that is going to bring us to halftime, folks. Man, oh man. What a first half. All right, let's think about what we talked about in the pregame show. Bosco James versus that run defense. Honestly, right now, Bosco's getting about 4 yards a carry, but I would say that run defense is still holding strong, doing what they need to do in order to keep this game in UCLA's favor. The biggest play of the half has to be that fumble recovery by Cam Chancellor. They were kind of moving pretty well, Florida, and you could see that there on the last drive as well. But that turnover ended up costing them 3 points, which keeps it a 7-point game, as well as obviously time on the clock and other factors. So that has to be the biggest thing I saw out of the first half. Let me know what you guys think was the play of the first half. And more importantly, let me know who you think is going to win this one. As you type your threes in the chat, let me see them. Wednesday night PFL action. And I'm just excited. Let me know what you guys think about this new format. How we feel about the pregame show. How we feel about the halftime edits, having stuff like this where we just kind of chat about the game. I love hearing your guys' thoughts, obviously, as we try to grow and expand as a league. But, man, I just can't wait to get back into this one. And before you know it, it's already back, and Florida is kicking off to UCLA. We're going to try to come out here and get some points on the board to start the second half for sure. That return's going to get them to about the 29-yard line, and we're going to see KC and company try to expand this lead. Their defense has been putting in a lot of work. Can the offense respond and deliver? Superstar quarterback, new team, new situation. Let's see how they come out here to start the second half. Gaddy going to take that handoff. Just get 1 yard, just barely back to the line of scrimmage there, setting up 2nd and 9. Quick hot route by KC. Finds his man over the middle. Well done. I believe that is Kadar Young there. Number 2 setting up the first down. UCLA keeping it moving. That's his 3rd catch for 27 total. Averaging 9 yards a carry. Coach Canyon loving it on the sidelines. Casey going to hand it off to Gaddy here. Tries to find a way up the middle, but not a whole lot of room to run. 12 carries for 40 yards for Gaddy. Both running backs having themselves a decent day so far at about 4 yards a carry. But the pass game has definitely been the focus. He's got a wide open Kadar Young streaking down the field, and that is a touchdown for UCLA. Extremely quick out of Kadar Young and company. That came out of nowhere. Getting that touchdown wide open on the streak route. Honestly, he could have thrown it to either of those guys. I believe that was Reyes on the right side as well. Wide open on their go routes. And that is the 2nd touchdown for KC Robinson and company. This UCLA offense, they're looking different this year already. About to be set up for a 14-point advantage. They're looking different, 20-6. And Florida now, that was a quick minute, 53-second touchdown drive. Florida's got to come out here and respond. A young quarterback, a lot of pressure on him at home. Needs to come out here with 10 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter and get some points on the board. So I expect them to lean on their junior running back to try to get something happening. But also, I think, the way Corey was playing at the end of the first half, he's got to be doing more of that. We got to expect more of that out of him. If he wants to be a top guy in this league, a top freshman quarterback, maybe an award winner, then these are the types of moments in the game where he needs to respond. We're going to see the rollout, but pressure immediately in his face, and a sack for King with his 2nd sack of the game. You see him put up the dukes like Tyson. And that is not how you want to start the drive if you're Corey Baines in Florida. That is a rough start to the drive. These play actions, these are what are killing them. I've been talking about it all preseason. So I'm going to continue to talk about it as the game goes on. Man, they got to be careful with those play actions. See Corey get ready again. This time has time. Ball unable to be hung on to. AJ with his 2nd drop of the game, dropping that touchdown pass earlier. And now they've got 3rd and a mile here for Florida, just taking the underneath route. Great job fitting that into that little window and managing to get about 12 out of that. But that is still going to set up 4th down. That was Eric Reyes with his 5th catch. He's had himself a heck of a game for Florida, but they now have no choice but to punt it back to KC Robinson and company, who are absolutely feasting on the offensive side of the ball and are going to, hopefully look to continue to do the same thing they've been doing tonight. Let's see what they come out here with. We've seen Florida punt it away. Tries to spin off a man, does so, but the 2nd hit brings him down. Solo with the punt return, but just like that, KC and company, look at those stats. 13 of 18 for 178 and 2 touchdowns. He's definitely doing what he needs to do to lead this new retooled UCLA team to a victory. Going to call the hot route. Looks like it will be a handoff to Gaddy. Gaddy tries to break it to the outside. Does so kind of, but that 2nd layer already there waiting for him. Setting up just a yard gain, but now we have another empty backfield, and this is where KC is dangerous. Let's see what he's looking for. Finds his man over the middle. That is Gaddy. Gets it all the way to the 39-yard line. I mean, the 41-yard line, sorry. It'll be the 39 on the other side of the field, but yeah, gets it all the way to the 41-yard line. UCLA's offense cooking, and if you're Coach Branson, you're Florida right now, you're just thinking, okay, how can we help slow these gaps down? Obviously, right there, they're defending the deep ball, but then you still have those chump plays over the middle. And Casey Robinson finding his targets. There he is again over the middle. That's Sergio Moreno, old reliable. For KC, he loves his tight ends. When at Ole Miss, he loved getting that ball out to Matt Webb, and he's doing the same thing here at UCLA with Moreno. So, definitely finding the right targets, doing what they need to do. KC getting ready. He's going to fake it on the option. We've seen this once already out of him. This time, Florida not biting. And 3rd and 4 up here for UCLA. Trying to keep this drive alive. See the fake again. Pressure coming. KC not able to get rid of it and thrown down is Jackson with his 2nd sack. He had a little bit of oomph on that hit, it looks like. I'm sure we're going to see that. Well, hopefully we get to see that in the highlight reel at the end of the game. I'll take some snaps, but he said he's tired of KC doing his superstar thing. Throws him down, not playing around. Big hit. Big hit out of Markel Jackson, the prime freshman. Doing what he needs to do, getting his 2nd sack of the game. And that's going to be 4th and a mile. And just like that, Florida's defense delivered. But now UCLA with a coffin punt at the 4-yard line. UCLA's special teams delivering, and Corey Baines has himself a mountain to climb to get some points on the board and get his team back into this one. This close to the end zone, though, what have we seen in the preseason? We saw 2 different running backs go crazy from the 4-yard line, Bo Sanders being one of them. And actually, the other play was a pass to Jabari Brown, but we've seen teams with their back against the wall. Sometimes the defense gets a little soft, and they take advantage. Let's see what Florida dials up here. We see the handoff to Bosco. Doesn't have a crazy lane, but does manage to find a lane, get a new set of downs, and set up Corey Baines with a lot more breathing room behind him. So we will see how Florida continues to drive down the field. And UCLA, like I said, a key focus for them has to be the run defense. And so far, Bosco, he's played well, but hasn't been too crazy. And UCLA's defense has forced Corey to pass more and more. Finds a man over the middle. AJ this time hanging on to the ball and getting Florida a new set of downs. Well done. That finds his man underneath. That is not Bosco. It's kind of surprising to see, but that's all right. I think they did that intentionally that time. I think that was Bowman with the reception. And Bowman ran really well in the preseason. So having that dual running back threat is obviously good for them. Every team loves to have that, where they've got a 1-2 punch. Notre Dame and Utah are the 2 that come to mind that execute it really well. We see it going underneath, has the space to run, and does so, getting another 1st down. I believe that's Rome there. Yes, it is, with his 3rd catch. And Culpepper on the tackle. Play action bootleg. Bootlegs are dangerous, but Corey's got time this time. Goes to the outside, almost picked off. And now they are in the I formation, super close there. Tony Fields Jr. getting to the ball and handling his business. See another play action here. Tons of time for Corey. Pressure finally arriving. Sails it out of bounds as Rome was wide open. Finding the pocket in the zone, but Corey unable to deliver. Forcing a 3rd and 10 for the Florida Gators, and that would have been a massive play for this offense. Let's see where he goes this time. Goes up top, and again, almost intercepted, and again by the same guy. Tony Fields gets his hands on it, but ultimately it didn't really matter. It would have just been a little bit better field, actually significantly better field position for UCLA. But they are going to get the ball back here. Florida forced a punt once again. This time Florida delivering their own coffin, setting UCLA, KC and company up at the 4-yard line. However, the difference being Casey Robinson is not a freshman. He is a superstar. He knows how to handle business with his back against his own end zone. And I expect him to come out here and get it done. You see he has crossed the double century mark here at 202 yards with 2 touchdowns. And I think this is going to be a handoff to Gio Gaddy, though. So Gio's just going to have to fight his way out of the end zone. There's the handoff to the outside. Doesn't find a ton of room, but gets enough that I feel like now Coach Canyon could call a pass play and not be too concerned about a safety. But we will see what UCLA dials up here. Let's take a quick look. Alright, KC finds Moreno again, older reliable, almost getting to the first. I don't think they're quite going to give it to him, but they are setting up 3rd and inches with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to play here. Empty backfield for KC. Does just set up a screen pass and will get to the first down as JT3. The screen working for UCLA here as we get down to the final 2 minutes in the 3rd quarter. They will get a new set of downs, and that was, you know, we saw the risk with the screen play earlier out of Florida. When you have those short yard situations, sometimes the screen can be exactly what you need. And UCLA went out and handled that to perfection. As we're going to see him take the snap here on 1st down. Drop back, tons of time. Manages to throw it away. Looks like he didn't like what he saw, and the pressure was finally starting to arrive. So KC just did what he needed to do and got that ball out of there. Now we see Florida, their safety coming up on the box. Looks like this could be a safety blitz here. Safety is running in, does get stopped by the running back. Wide open is Moreno over the middle, getting it all the way to the 42-yard line. Oh, why do I keep doing this? The 38-yard line. Whew. You guys tell I'm a little rusty? You know, that's what happens this whole week when you take an extended break. You get back in the booth, you're just a little bit rusty. I see KC getting ready in the shotgun. Sends Ekene in motion. Ends up handing it off. That looks like that could have been an RPO with the screen to Ekene. Does manage to just hand it off that time. Setting up 2nd and 7. Under a minute to play here in this 3rd quarter. Almost exactly under a minute with 59 seconds to play. Good time on the blockers. Finds Ekene on that left-hand side, cutting back to the ball. KC picking apart this Florida secondary right now with 242 yards through the air. And I don't know if they'll hike it before this 3rd quarter ends. They do not. And let me see those ultra valuable 4s in the chat, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Wednesday night premiere game. Love to have everybody out, you know, both in the Twitch and the YouTube. It means the most to us. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed it so far as we see KC on the option play. And while it may seem set in stone, I still think there is a chance Florida comes back, so that's why I'm not calling this one just yet. We need to see what UCLA cooks up here on this drive. You see the handoff. Gaddy finds himself a bit of room, but gets crunched at the end of that run there. Getting a 3rd down and what could be a huge play here for Florida if they can get a stop. Goes for the deep ball. Sets it up and almost picked off before it finally hits the turf and will set up the punt for UCLA. Oh, they faked the punt and they get the 1st down. Are you kidding me? I think that's the first fake punt I've seen in the PFL. What a play by Coach Canyon. What a decision to go for it like that, straight to the fullback. Punishes Florida. And now we've got 2nd and 10. We got Ekene breaking guys off. Oh, we got a flag. Okay. I was so confused for a sec. I saw it said field goal at the bottom, and I was like, what is happening? But that was Miles Dupuis with the face mask. Ball's getting ultimately very close to that touchdown mark for UCLA once again. Ball's right at the 10-yard line there. See the handoff to Gaddy, getting it to about the 6. Quick pass underneath, almost intercepted as that ball bounces all over the place. Almost picked off there by Derek Marshall. Setting up 3rd and 7 here. Florida trying to get to KC. KC's got lots of time, finds a man. Moreno does get tackled. They're not going to give him forward progress because he didn't have the other foot down. Setting up 4th and 1. I think UCLA just takes the points as Markel Jackson makes yet another tackle. But I think UCLA just takes the points because 17 is still a 3-possession game. My goodness, was that close. He catches it right at the touchdown line. And they are going to just run the field goal. Now, keep in mind, this might be a play action. Or not a play action, but a play fake. Ultimately, this time it's not. They take the 17-point lead. Florida going to come out here. They have to get a touchdown on this drive if they want any shot at coming back into this one. So Corey Baines and company, we need to see some big plays out of you. You had the opportunity in the last drive. You know, I can't lie. He had some open guys and just wasn't able to find them. At one point, he had Rome wide open on a post for what looked like 30 yards and just sailed it. Just got to tighten up a little bit here for Corey on the passing game. Goes underneath to AJ. Great job hanging onto the ball that time, setting up 2nd and 3, or as I like to call it, 2nd and call, whatever you want kind of yardage, because this could be a shot downfield, this could be a handoff. It really just comes down to what coach wants to do. All right, ends up going underneath to Rome. Getting a new set of downs is smart, but that clock is not going to be their friend as they're already approaching 7 minutes to play here. Goes for the go route, almost intercepted that ball, bouncing all over the place before ultimately getting stopped. Gonna just see the underneath pass to Bosco. Bosco gonna get a few yards to make it 3rd and more manageable here, but it's going to be about 6.5 to play here in this final quarter, folks. Florida running out of time fast to get, to come back on a 17-point deficit. On 3rd and 6 here, going again on that go route, finds AJ, almost intercepted again in the hands of Josiah Bess, unable to come away with it. They have really no choice but to go for it here, given the time restraints. Again on the go route. This time, AJ brings it down, almost breaks the last guy off him. That will pass 200 passing yards for Corey, I think. Maybe I misread that. But manages to get it again on the go route. Again testing Josiah. This time, Josiah gets mossed, and AJ does manage to make the grab. Now we got 5:50 on the clock. Florida getting closer. Trying to get a touchdown here. Going for it all yet again. Almost picked off in the hands of multiple people. Between Tony Fields, man. That ball was just bouncing all over the place. UCLA secondary going to have to do some hand drills, but this defensive line going to keep handling business as King gets another sack. Taking care of things as KC is hyped on the sideline for his new squad. Doing what they need to do. Setting up 3rd and 100 miles here for Corey Baines and company. And this is, this is what a lot of people expected coming into this game. But I'm sure not what Coach Branson wanted out of this Florida squad. 3rd and 22. Pressure in his face again. Manages to get rid of it to avoid the sack, but now they're on 4th and 22. Absolute behemoth of a 4th down here for Florida. My goodness, folks. Be the pass of the ages to make it happen, and he's not able to do so. Great defense that time out of Tony Fields Jr., stopping that play in its tracks. Ball did kind of get caught almost, but manages to bat it away, take care of business, and now KC and company can really just go out there and dictate the rest of this game. 5:02 to play here in the 4th quarter. UCLA is going to walk away, starting CS3 off 1-0, which is obviously every coach's dream. Florida, meanwhile, is going to go in 0-1, have some adjustments to make, but, you know, some good things to look at as well. You know, I think Corey Baines will definitely develop strongly. You know, their run defense has been solid. I think Corey gets a few more upgrades under his belt, a little training, and he'll be good to go as we see the false start here, setting up 3rd and 9. But plenty of positives. I think Bosco had a great game. AJ made some great catches, and I think Florida's got plenty of things to look forward to. Rome looked great. As we see huge pressure in Casey's face, and Newkirk with a big sack, getting the crowd a little bit more energized, setting up 4th and 16 with that body bag. 3:37 to go. Coach over there talking to his guys. But yeah, man, I just think that they have plenty of potential. You know, I expect to see this, I'm not going to lie, out of most of the new teams. I think it's not as easy as a lot of these guys think it is to go out here and get wins in the PFL, man. It's a tough league. And UCLA was, you know, a bottom of the barrel team in CS2. So it's tough to get out there and perform, and now a bottom of the barrel team has just delivered a butt kick, you know, a nice jump start for this new Florida Gators team. So I expect them to come out in week 2 with a better response. You know, if you're Coach Canyon, UCLA and company, you got to be feeling good about the way this game has gone for you. With that said, it's not over yet. Florida's still fighting for pride. 3 minutes, 7 seconds on the clock. Baines going to drop back and pass, take the pass underneath. Looks like that is Rome on the reception there. Setting up 2nd and inches. 2:30 to go in this one. Goes underneath to Bosco. Bosco makes the catch. Gets the 1st down. 2 minutes to play on the clock for Florida in their first game of CS3, their first game in the PFL, and that's almost intercepted by Chancellor. Already had that fumble recovery. Lots of time for Corey. Gets it out to his man on the outside. Who's that, Reyes? Yeah, I think Reyes and Rome have been bright spots for Florida for sure. AJ, great pickup from LSU. I mean, and of course Bosco. They definitely have potential. I think they just got to work through some things. You know, and I expect to see different results out of them. I think for all the new teams, these first few weeks are going to be really telling. So they just have to try to do their best to go out and put on a show where they can find their bright spots as they kind of get a better grip on the way their team is going to perform here in CS3. We see the quick route, streak up the middle, and that is going to be a face mask and get the ball down to about the 5-yard line. We're seeing a few face masks tonight. Guys getting chippy with it.
Come on, man.
As that is Solo with the penalty. What's that going to put the ball at? The 15? The 10? Yeah, just at the 10. Florida knocking on the door. Going to try to get a score on the board. Their first touchdown in PFL. Corey sails it into the back of the end zone. 40 passes out of Corey Baines. This is about to be 41. Can he get his first touchdown in the PFL? Passes it to Bosco underneath to the 5-yard line. Quick no-huddle offense. Going again, almost throws a pick. Tony Fields bats it down. 4th and goal. Will we see a touchdown out of this Florida team? There he goes to the end zone, finds his man, gets the touchdown. That is how you get it done. Great job for Corey. That's Brooks with the catch for the touchdown. Coach Branson's got to be happy with that. Listen, the game didn't go how you wanted, but guess what did just go how you wanted? You got your first PFL touchdown, of course not counting preseason and scrims. Got to be super ecstatic about that one if you're Corey. You know, that's got to feel fantastic. Extra point is up and in. Taking care of business on what will likely be their final drive. There's a minute and 2 to go. I don't know if they're feeling so, you know, enticed to go ahead and try for the onside kick, but they did anyway. And JT3 said, "Give me that. That will end the game with a minute to go on the clock." That is going to end it, though. Knowing the way some of these coaches like to be, a little prideful, I do honestly expect to see some timeouts. But obviously, ideally, for time's sake, there wouldn't be. But yeah, this is going to wrap this up. Florida does manage to get a touchdown on the board. Yep, there are those timeouts. Start flying. Which, I mean, this was, you know, pretty expected. Third and 2 here, a first down. Will, ooh, big tackle out of Florida. And they said, never mind, we're going to take the ball back and try and make this score a little bit more reasonable. As UCLA is going to kick what will be a pretty decent-sized field goal, about a 50-yarder here. That kick is definitely not going anywhere, very short. And giving Florida some pretty good field position to maybe get a second touchdown. You know, I don't think we're going to see a comeback, but if that field goal ends up being what, you know, saves UCLA's victory, then that fumble recovery will be even bigger of a deal than it was coming out of the half. So let's see what Corey dials up here as he throws it to AJ, unable to hang on to the ball, however. 39 seconds to go in the fourth, no timeouts. Still has 65 yards to drive down the field. Pressure coming, gets rid of it, goes to the outside, but great job there. The UCLA secondary has really done a good job at preventing a lot of the crazy passes that Corey's tried to find tonight. Goes over the middle and just sails that one. Setting up 4th and 10. 3 straight plays of nothing. And let's see how Florida wants to end this game here with a very quick 4 and out. They're going for it, and he does throw the pick. Josiah Best finally gets the best of Corey Baines and gets the interception to seal this one up. He's had a lot of pass deflection. He's had a lot of involvement on that side. They continue to test him. And Best this time wins the contest, getting the pick, which has to make the young man feel great. I believe Josiah is a freshman, I think. I could be wrong, but That's got to feel good for that secondary. We see the victory formation. It will only take one. There are no timeouts. 23 seconds to go. And just like that, KC comes out and leads the new UCLA Bruins to a victory in their first week. And Coach Branson and company, plenty of highlights to look back on, but that is going to do it for them. Wrapping this one up. My goodness. Let's take a look at these stats, folks. Let's go to player stats as always, like we do. There you go, tail of the tape. This rating, honestly, though, got heavily affected by that interception at the end. But 47 attempts through the air, that is a heavy passing offense. Definitely something coach and company are going to want to consider potentially changing. Great performance out of KC, 22 of 30, 261, 73% completions with 2 tutties. So only 14 less yards on 17 less attempts. On the run side, Gio had himself, a 3-yard average carry. Listen, that's not crazy stat-wise, but he got the groundwork done when UCLA needed it. Bosco had 4.4 yards to carry. That's some great game out of a running back. You're going to be happy with that. I expect them to get him more and more involved as the season goes on. And KC had himself a few runs as well. I don't know where those other 2 came from, but his couple option plays went okay, including one that got him about 6. So on the receiving side of the ball, you can see it's pretty spread out here. Like I said, Eric Reyes had himself a great game. Sergio had himself a great game. Kadar Young got a highlight with 83 yards. You see a lot of receptions, but not a ton of yards for the guys. Cyril Rome, Bosco. On the Florida side, AJ as well with 70, did himself quite well, but then you see Jamie with 3 for only 19. Jojo Ekene, who I expect to see more and more of as the season goes on. Even Gio got a little involved in the passing game. On the defensive side, man, we see a ton of tackles. Obi Solo, Elijah Blades, Jackson Davis, man. We see another 10-piece out of Markel Jackson, the prime player. We saw an 8-piece there out of Miles Dupuis. And then we see another 8-piece out of Avery Helms. So a lot of tackles all around the board. And then obviously you got the little ones. But, what people really want to see is that dirty work. And you can already tell where I'm going with this. Where is the boy? Should have a ton. Josiah with 3 pass deflections and the pick. Great job out of him in the secondary. And same with Tony Fields with 3 pass deflections. Those boys were getting tested all night. And they continued to prove that testing them was not the right thing to do. And then, of course, just to give you guys how the kick returns looked and how the punt returns looked. So let's go take a quick look again at the team stats this time. I like to go over these now. I don't know if you guys enjoy these or not, but I like to go over them just a bit. Let you guys take a quick gander here. Obviously, we screenshot all these. You guys can see them after the fact, but yeah, I just like to see where the tail of the tape really was. You can see who dominated where. And what's funny is Florida had more first downs, more overall passing yards, but just weren't able to get things done. And you can see their turnovers, 0 on the UCLA side to 2 on the Florida side. So, those are really the big things there. Both had great red zone percentages, but just honestly, UCLA didn't need to get in the red zone. They just won the game. So with that, folks, that's going to end it for your boy John Smith up here in the booth. Wednesday night PFL action. Keep in mind, of course, we have games all week, especially with the new 18-team setup. We have games throughout the week for you guys. I hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. The big things that we still got coming, obviously tomorrow, we have me, your boy, Ohio State at UGA. That's at 2 p.m. Eastern. Remember, we have a couple early games now due to the now kind of more crowded schedule. And LSU at Michigan tomorrow night. I believe the morning game will be a premiere and the night game will be live. But we'll see kind of how that works out with our schedules. And then Friday, we've got Auburn at Miami, starting us off in the morning at 2 p.m. Eastern, or afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then Texas at Florida State for our Friday night game. So make sure we are tuning in over these next couple of days, and of course, as we go through these games, we will continue to talk about the schedule. But with that, folks, thank you so much. Your boy John Smith signing out. love doing this. Love being back in the booth doing our thing. So can't wait to see you guys throughout the season. Peace.